Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A. Welcome to the set. And as always, my partner's nowhere to be found. I'm just playing, folks. How's everybody doing this evening? It's Wednesday, and if you have been following the show for some time, excuse me, Wednesdays are usually relegated for a special edition, if you would. And tonight, I'm pleased to say that this is a very special edition. Um, we're bringing the story of two very courageous women who just happen to be a mother and daughter team that are venturing in to gambling on themselves and their talents. And I find this story truly inspiring for the fact that there are a lot of people that are stepping out on a limb and starting their own businesses or venturing into their passion. They're seizing the moment. And in speaking to this duo, this team, I find their approach and what they're doing to be not only admirable, but amazing. For many years as a teenager, I was always into dance. I like dancing, parties. The family atmosphere called for it, right? We always celebrated and did things of that nature. So house parties and talent shows and all this other stuff, dancing was always there. So this rings special for me. And it also rings special that they just happen to be mother and daughter. And I find that to be amazing. So I'm not going to talk anymore about that. Let me see if my partner's in the room. I don't see his hand waving, so I don't know if he's, I think he's ready. So let me bring in my brother, my cohort, my compadre, Mr. Celi Sasson.
Oh,
There he is. What's up, brother?
Today? What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good time. Did their last minute Christmas shopping. 2XL shirt, if anybody's, trying to hook the brother up.
This guy's always plugging himself. Pause. Hey. Always looking for that in.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, man. Listen. Oh man. Tonight I'm excited. I really am. I think these two women are gonna make for a great conversation. And I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful because we got a lot of big things coming up in the next few weeks and months. I'm hopeful that this is gonna inspire somebody. So
for sure.
Man, I can't.
We had a little mic trouble Sunday early on. So I hope everybody levels is good. Hit us up if we're good. Don't forget, hit them likes, hit the subscribe button, the set 6145. I started off the show last week giving a shout to the DSNY, MTA, all frontline workers, man. Thank you guys for everything, keeping the streets safe for us and,
everything that they do, man.
Yeah, everything you guys do, man, for sure. I want to give Mike Jones and the Shot Factory big shout out for sure. I mean, wicked, man. Can't wait till those those picks come through.
Hey, we don't want to blow it up. We don't listen. Salute to Mike Jones at the Shot Factory out here on Staten Island. He's a transplant from Brooklyn, as I am as well. But Mike Jones not only deserves the praise and the accolades, but the recognition, because Mike Jones has been at it for a while. And not only that, but
pioneer this podcast stuff too.
Yeah, another pioneer in the podcast game. But he is somebody that you work with and you realize fairly quickly that his level of professionalism, creativity, and flexibility, most of all, are above par. So salute to Mike Jones in the Shot Factory. We will be having him on here to tell his story.
Definitely.
We definitely got to make that happen.
For sure. I also want to give Blake Taylor, my guy Blake Taylor, shout out.
Out west.
Intro. KMJ 105.9 in Fresno, California, showing love, man. Thank you for the intro, for the set 6145, and Mr. A and myself truly appreciate all the help you guys are showing us and all the love we're getting from many outlets.
Listen, people, catch the wave now because it's happening. Me and my compadre here are gonna continue to bring the content that is important to the people. And I will continue to say that this isn't never gonna be about drama and ignorance. We are here to connect with the people, bring inspiration, share information, and have a good time and share some laughs on the way. And salute to our brother out there in the West Coast for coming through. And that's what you call love. When people are, quick to reach out and be like, hey, listen, I want to do something for you guys. Man, you're doing something right, And salute to the people in the room. Good evening, everybody.
Praise up Keontae Johnson. I don't know if you remember this story. The kid that played for Florida Gators. I think he got coronavirus or COVID and passed out in the field in the court. He got discharged. So
it was COVID?
Yeah, it was COVID. Yeah. So he got discharged and hopefully, he keeps his recovery going, I mean, we know so many people out there that didn't make it and people that are, close to home that are fighting and struggling back. So we want to make sure everybody, understands that, this is real. It's not a game, guys,
Definitely. And you know what's crazy? I just got this information and I wanted to share it with you and with everybody watching. I just got the news that ecstasy from Houdini has passed away at 56 years old. That is, man, that's sad.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's alarming because I don't know about you, we're reaching that mark, that milestone. And every time somebody who is in our bracket passes away, I don't know about you, but I instantly go like, what happened?
Yeah. I remember the Houdini, the video music box coming on with the Houdini.
Oh man, now you're making me feel old.
Sure, man.
But that's sad, man. Rest in peace to Ecstasy, man, and condolences to his entire family. That's a tremendous loss, especially hip hop history. Friends, Freaks Come Out at Night, One Love, and did mad work shooting in Brooklyn. I believe they were from Gowanus, downtown Brooklyn area. And they always rep Brooklyn. And we from Brooklyn. We love Brooklyn, but tremendous loss, man. It very, very
it's not
sad.
The Brooklyn Nets. Go Knicks, baby. NBA starts tonight. Go Knicks. Championship or bust this year.
Yo, this guy's a hater.
Now they look good. Brooklyn look good. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
they look good. Yes, sir.
It's a beautiful thing. They're starting to come together, and hopefully, I'd like them two together. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people don't like. What do you call him? Kanye what?
Kanye Irving.
Kanye Irving.
Yeah.
I like Kyrie. I really do. Mm-hmm. I think he has a lot of potential. And KD, KD's KD. He's gonna do like you said. He's gonna get his no matter what. I don't really see him with the beard. I don't think that's a good look.
He needs a haircut though. Real like you're in Brooklyn, pa. You need a real. There's plenty of great barbers out here.
He could walk.
Yo, you got the homeless shelter haircut, dude. Like, come on, man. Like, like get that done.
Yo, you're a 6-7 figure man. You need to like
they'll cut it for free. Like,
yeah, what?
Somebody hook them up.
Promo IG. Look who I'm cutting. The KD, the one and only.
Like he got the psoriasis. He's hiding back there or something.
Yo, he got the Rice Krispies.
That looks that way because he's hiding something with that haircut.
Oh man! All right.
One more thing, man. Yes. Tiger Woods and his son. I don't know if you saw this.
I did.
Well, the only time we're ever gonna talk golf on the show, but
yeah, probably.
Yeah, man, that was great. Tiger Woods is playing with his 11-year-old son, and
he's 11.
He's 11, dude.
Dude, he looks like he's 14.
Yeah, no, he's 11, and by the time he's 14, he's gonna be making bank playing.
I saw it wasn't a video clip. I saw a couple of stills.
Mm-hmm.
Homie looks like Arnold Palmer out there. He really looks.
They look the same. They side by side. They were like the same shot.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow. What's that movie with Will Smith that he plays the caddy? Bagger Vance. That's what they look like together. Yo, but his son definitely looks like he's laser focused, and I could really appreciate that because I don't know what his first name is, but I know his last name is Woods. So it's,
Yeah.
that's legacy.
Elijah, I don't even,
Something like that.
yeah, Alien, something, yeah.
Elion.
Elion. Anyway,
Yeah.
so speaking of parent and child,
Yeah.
we got a quick story tonight about that, right? So
Yes. So people, as I've been alluding to, we are welcoming CKMD Fitness and Dance Studio. This is a mother-daughter duo, Miss Beverly and Miss Chantelle, I'm sorry, Chantelle. I asked her before if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I don't want to,
we don't
be
want to butcher it.
disrespectful. Yeah, I don't want to butcher it, especially. But I know how people sometimes get offended if you mess up their name. But these women have combined their resources and their talent and had the audacity to open up a brick and mortar in this environment. I think that, that's something we should all recognize. Our talents go a lot deeper and further than what other people are gauging them to be. And speaking of which, before I bring them in, I was speaking to a dear friend of mine today, Miss Iris Galarza out of North Florida. And I told her, stop allowing people to limit your talent and your abilities by their judgment. Just because they're telling you, oh, you're only here or there, don't buy into that. Gamble on yourself. So,
Facts.
without further ado, I want to welcome to the room and the show Miss Chantelle and Miss Beverly of CKMD Studios out of Houston, Texas. Ladies,
Hi. Hello.
welcome
Hello.
to the set.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
Of course, the pleasure is all ours. So, what's the time difference right now from New York to where you guys are at?
We're 1 hour behind you.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So you guys have energy, you're feeling good, you're ready to go, correct?
Yes. Always.
Wonderful. All right. So let's start at the beginning. Miss Beverly, being a mom and being the mom of a talented young lady, how is it that you come to understand the value in gambling in this environment on your daughter? What was the moment that you realized the talent is there, her drive, her ambition is all there, and it's all in line, and I'm gonna venture on with her to make this leap of faith and open this dance studio?
Well, Chantelle is one of 3 daughters, and this is the same for all of my daughters. When they set their mind on something, nothing stands in their way, including me. They've come to me with all sorts of ideas before. When it's something that I think not right now, or this isn't the right time, or this isn't the right thing, I have never ever just shut them down. I always turn it around. I always try to find the positive in everything. So if now isn't the right time, I would say, well, how about this? Or maybe this isn't the, let's try something else. Chantelle has always been passionate about fitness and moving. She's a mover. She doesn't sit still. She's never sat still. When she was little, she was always the one bouncing off the walls.
Rambunctious.
With a brush in her hands, singing. She was always the go-getter, and none of them would let anything stand in their way.
Wonderful. Chantelle, I need to ask you a question. Did the love of dance start on your own accord as a child growing up, or was this something culturally, like when in a month or two, carnival's supposed to be happening, but I know it's canceled, right?
Yeah.
Was this something that you gained from being with your family and culturally, garnering the love of dance, or was this something that as a child growing up it was innate for you?
So dance was honestly not really a big part of me until high school. I grew up singing. Singing was my passion.
Okay.
And then when high school came around, it was, what was it, 7th grade?
Yes.
Or something like that. We did a show choir in Virginia. And that was when the love of dance for me it was just so good. Like, I loved it so much. Show choir in Virginia is more like singing and dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, because it combined, moving and then singing as well, which I loved, that was the biggest part for me. It's just, yeah.
sort of cabaret, really.
Yeah.
So it's performing and singing and moving, lots of movement on stage.
Wow.
It was my passion growing up.
Wonderful.
Miss Beverly, did you dance also? Did you sing?
I did both. I started dancing back in Trinidad from the age of about 7 right through till just before I got married at 22. I was dancing, singing, modeling. Like her, I got involved in everything artistic, but dance was a passion of mine my whole childhood. I entered several competitions in Trinidad.
Okay. So you were born in Trinidad.
Yes.
And I'm sensing like British accent?
Yes. Yes, I actually moved to England when I was 22. When I got married, and that's where my daughters were born. And I lived until about 11 years ago when I moved to the US.
Okay.
So that seems like a natural progression. Shelly, I don't know if you know this. I spend a lot of more time in the Caribbean community. So you're probably, this may not be familiar territory in that people from the Caribbean tend to migrate to specific places. Yeah. Canada, the US, and the UK. Right. Those seem to be like the 3 destinations, right?
A lot of like Jamaicans in UK and stuff like that.
Yeah. So at the time that you moved to the UK, right, because you're going from Trinidad, where it's all beautiful and the weather's lovely, and you can walk down the road and get some food as you're walking along, and it'd be flavorful and lovely. Yeah, you get some doubles, get some roti, some pilari, something good, and you move to the drab, dank, gray UK.
Yes.
How is it culturally for you to adjust? Is it tough? Are the people accepting? What was the environment like for you during that move?
For me, people were really nice. As far as the food side of things, there are very few Trinidadians who can say they can't cook any of those dishes that you named. And we spend a lot of time in the kitchen. So as far as the food side of things, I didn't miss very much because I can cook them myself. Mm-hmm. The weather, I actually embraced.
Really?
I said, I guess I realized, I don't know if that warm environment was what I was supposed to be born into, because I embraced the coldness in England. I remember writing my best friend after I got there, and I said, wow, this place is amazing. It's like an air-conditioned country. That's exactly how that's how I described it. I said it's like an air-conditioned country, and I love it. So for me, I embraced the cold. However, having been in Houston now for 11 years, I've gone right back to, I've acclimated to this environment again. So I'm okay with the heat, and I don't mind the cold.
Okay. So Chantelle, I'm assuming you were born in the UK, correct?
Yes, I was.
Okay. So how was it for you growing up in that environment? I mean, of course, it feels natural because that's your place of birth, right? Mm-hmm. But early on, or in your formative years, and as you become a teenager, do you take notices to the differences between you and like the kids around you?
Definitely now, yes. Looking back, like you said, it was my natural environment, so I didn't really think much of it. Now I'm like, wow, my childhood was so different from, childhood of, American people. England and Americans.
Spoiled Americans.
different. Yeah. It's just there's a lot more to experience here.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest things that I was looking forward to when I was moving out here. I used to watch like Disney Channel. Obviously, I was around like, 11 when we moved here. So Disney Channel and all those American shows was like what I was watching. I was like, okay, I want a life like that. When I moved here, it was definitely a huge culture shock for me because that wasn't at all what we moved out here to.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just had to kind of grow and adapt. And yeah, basically.
I'll tell you about that actually.
Okay.
The very first, was it history? I think it was the very first history lesson that she had in school. She came home and she was blown away. And I think in that history class, mind you, this is her very first experience of this history in England. She learned about King Henry VIII and the British monarchy. So she'd never done anything about slavery or any Black history.
Civil rights.
And yes. And so she came home and she was like, Mom, do you know about Rosa Parks? Do you know? Oh my gosh, she was full of all sorts of emotions. She was angry, she was upset. It was like she was just a different person. And I think that's where she realized and recognized that side of her history. She knew her Trinidadian culture, but to go back further from sort of where we came from, she wasn't aware, and that was a huge shock for her. So coming to America taught her more about herself, really.
Chantelle, besides the history, the school systems, like what was it tougher, easier, like UK to United States? Like the transition of this is a joke here, or this is like no, what's proper curriculum?
So coming from England because we moved straight to Miami, and it was North Miami Beach, and
you gotta learn Spanish.
Yeah, it was a lot different in that in England there's just more of how would I say this?
There weren't many people that look like you where we live.
Exactly. And then I moved to somewhere where there's just a lot.
Everybody looked like you.
Yeah, people look like me. And I was like, okay, well, now I have to kind of adapt to that.
They had to pay to look like you.
Yeah. They spoke different. They had these little slang words that I didn't really understand. And it was definitely a lot to deal with. But yeah, it was, basically.
Do you have any friends back home still?
Not really.
I'm sorry. Do you have any friends back in the UK still?
I do. My best friend's still there, and I have a couple of friends from school still.
So you come to the US at the tender age of 11, am I correct? 11?
12. It was 12 years old.
So when you start to understand, and I think this is direly important to the story, because this is a complete journey that you're going through with your mom to reach to this point. When you make this realization and start learning this history, I'm sure it's a shock, one, and me and my partner here have talked through the years about how they don't teach real history. They don't teach us any real history. And anything that we need to learn about ourselves, we need to venture out on our own and discover, right? Yeah. But what I'd like to know more so is, did learning this history change you and change your perspective of how you see the world in any way, shape, or form?
It has, definitely. It just made me realize who I am. In England, again, I was around people that wasn't like me, but I kind of thought I was like them, whereas I'm not, and so coming here and learning about people like me, it definitely made me think, okay, well, no, I'm not like them. you know, this is my group of people.
Mm.
It's physical appearance, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she couldn't understand why her hair couldn't be styled in a certain way.
Why it was thicker, and
yes,
I couldn't straighten it the way that
it couldn't
my
look
friends
like this. Yes.
had.
So and then I saw a metamorphosis with Chantelle. She really came into her and accepting her beauty. Because I used to tell her from birth, you're beautiful, but she couldn't see her beauty because she couldn't compare it to her friends, people around her.
Right.
And when she embraced her beauty, which she has now fully, she just really blossomed. Everything changed about her. Her personality changed. She'd always been a really outgoing child. She'd always been really friendly. She was the entertainer, really, in our home. But she became even more so here.
I think the realization of
Yes.
one's value, right, and understanding that value through the reflection or looking back at what was and your true identity, right? When you start to understand your true identity and your lineage, it gives you a sense of pride because, as you said, you couldn't style your hair the way you wanted it to because, you know, your hair is different.
Right.
But there wasn't anybody for you in sort of society to look at and go, oh, okay, you know, this is who I look for my standard of beauty for, or, you know, this person reflects where I come from, so to speak. And I think that's amazing. And it's important that we all, in one point or another, start to understand exactly, one, who we are, and two, where we come from, the truth about those things. And I think that it's something that helps young people grow, as it has for you. It's strengthening your confidence, right? And being that you were becoming more confident and more self-assured, when did you really start, you know, after those shows in Virginia and the touring and stuff, what was the first leap of faith that you took to take dancing more seriously or professionally?
So for me, it's more fitness based. I think it was more the dance side of things. It was after, so fitness for me kind of started in Miami when we first moved there. She used to take me to the gym all the time, and we joined this step class. Yeah. With this lady called Marcelli. She had the best looking body ever. And I was like, okay, I need to get her body. I was 12 years old. And so I was like, yeah, I need this body. And that was the best class I've ever taken. Yeah. I remember the first time we went, we were all over the place with the steps. We were so uncoordinated. But yeah, like she said, this woman was she was just, it was like, yeah, we want to be like her. We want to be able to move like her and do this like her. And at first I thought I was dragging her to the gym. And I was dragging her. I had no interest. She had no interest in the gym. I was dragging her because I was like, right, come on, let's go. We're going. Because I wanted to go. And then she just got more and more into it. She made me, though. Yeah, she was so motivational that I kept going. Yeah. And after that, I kind of fell off, and that was when we moved to Virginia, and then I started show choir, and show choir then became a passion of mine. And but then after show choir, we came to Texas, and that was kind of when I fell off. I stopped working out. I didn't really care about physical activity anymore.
Too hot.
Huh? Too hot.
Texas is too hot.
It's too hot. Exactly. And she got us a YMCA membership. I never went. But then it was college, my first year of college. I decided, okay, it's time to make a change. I got my first gym membership. And it was from that time on that my lifestyle just changed. I went every day, and it just became a part of me. And it was a couple of years later that I just realized this is what I wanted to do. I was going to school for forensic science. I wanted to be a CSI detective.
Mm.
And I guess the more I worked out, the more my body started to change. I was like, no, this is what I want to do. I want to do something in the fitness field. But I didn't quite know what it was that I wanted.
Exactly what.
Yeah.
You got to be careful whoever dated you. Be like, she's got that forensic stuff. She's figuring out everything on it.
Sally, I don't know if you're hearing what I'm hearing. But I'm listening to Chantelle talk and I'm listening to Miss Beverly speak. And all I hear is maturity, right? I see Miss Beverly set an example for her daughter. She moved, she transplanted her family. I'm sure she was making career moves, and she has more daughters, right?
Yes.
But as you listen to Chantelle tell her story, you can hear the growth and maturity in her. Like, I started doing this and I kind of fell off, but then I went to college and I said, yeah, I got to make a change. She already had a career path sort of selected. I'm going to get into forensic sciences. But the more she put time into the gym, she realized, oh, this is something more that I'm passionate about.
More passionate about it.
Yeah. And that's very commendable. Miss Beverly, you have definitely instilled some very strong characteristics in your daughter. And I'm sure the other daughters are, very strong-minded and strong-willed. So
yes, they are.
New to you.
they're fair forces to be reckoned with, the other two.
Oof, man. And this one with the forensics. Fellas, watch yourself.
Yeah.
It's funny. My older sister was more into the science. I was more into the music, and it's almost like we just switched.
They switched. She was the entertainer. She was the one singing and dancing all around the house. And my eldest daughter was the one who was in the books and really quiet. And then they just flipped. She said she was on the path to forensics as well, right? So she was going to be the first doctor, and then on the route to that career, she said she actually started studying, and she said, "Mom, this is my passion. I want to do music." And now she's in a really successful band in England, doing well.
Good.
Wow.
Good.
What genre of music?
Rock music.
Like alternative rock.
Alternative rock.
Alternative rock.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter loves that stuff. You like alternative rock, so?
I listen to pretty much anything. Like,
yeah. My
I,
daughter's heavy into alternative rock, and so is Elijah. They both like that stuff.
I listen to country from going to school in Texas and New Mexico.
I listen to Kenny Rogers.
Sleep on Garth Brooks.
Yeah, a little bit.
Her band is called Defenses, and they're in the UK.
Oh,
Defenses.
Well, you know what? It's funny that you mentioned that, because there's a lot of great music that comes out of the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot.
You know what mind boggles me?
What's
the
that?
Actors, like Idris Elba in Wire, and then he's like taking an award and he has the British accent. I'm like, hey, this guy fooled me. Like, how, he's great. Like, there are a lot of actors that just switch their voices up.
Yes.
And,
acting American when they're really
man.
spies.
Which it baffles me. I don't understand why why producers, directors don't use American actors for American films and British actors for Brit. I don't understand. How do the American actors feel when a British actor has come and got a role?
Take their job, basically, right?
An accent.
Yeah.
Fake American accent.
They do. This is my assumption. I think they do that because they see them as exotic. Like, we're gonna win big with this, and when this young lady or man comes out and accepts that award, it's gonna blow them away. Like me listening. So I'm sure you feel the same way. You listen to them both talk, and you're just like,
yes, no, definitely.
It's hypnotizing.
Like, and another, like, even with the New York actors, they probably get tough time because we have our accent too. When I went to Texas, it was like, can you talk for me? I'm like, what? Like, because our New York accent. So I'm sure New York actors also probably just, only certain roles because they can't, speak like everyone else.
Right.
I was
You have
actually
to
with somebody yesterday, and I was saying to them that I've been watching Grey's Anatomy, and he said, "What?" I said, "Grey's Anatomy." He said, "Wait, what was that?" I said, "Grey's Anatomy," and I'm like, "Okay, what? I can't say it in any other way. What am I?" He said, "No, I hear what you're saying. I just want you to keep repeating."
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like we say, aluminum. I believe in aluminium. Is that right? Aluminium. That sounds like something from space. All right. So, Chantelle, I need more information from you.
Mhm.
Miss Beverly, your mother, seems very, very focused, and doesn't seem to be the type of parent that's easily convinced. Right? I feel. Am I right?
Well,
Okay.
It was
So,
it
yeah, for
was.
me, I almost feel like you delving into forensic sciences
Mhm.
and wanting to really be in dance, you must have had to have come to her with a solid plan of action, if you will.
Mhm.
How was the first approach? If there was, if this was something you guys did together, okay, great. But I feel like almost like you came to her and was like, "Mom, I want to do X. How do we make that happen?" Like, how did you put that together to bring to her?
So the first time I came to her to talk to her about it was during quarantine.
Mm.
And so during quarantine, I wasn't able to go to the gym. So I went and I bought myself some gym equipment.
But
And
rewind, because you've been talking to me about this since you were in Arizona 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was completely different though. So I've had multiple ideas of what I've wanted to do with this business.
Okay.
The first idea was to open up just a fitness studio.
Mhm.
And the second idea was, my entire career has been in like cafe, barista, stuff like that. So I thought, okay, maybe I can open up a nutrition shop where I'm selling, protein shakes, healthy drinks, stuff like that. So I told my mom that, and she was like, okay, well, let me see a business plan. So I wrote up a business plan, and she thought it was really good. And we went and saw a couple of places around here, and we didn't really find anywhere, did we?
No.
That really stuck with us. So then that idea kind of fell off for a little while, but the business plan, we still had that. We were still kind of going along with it. But then
For me, it was Chantel's multi-talented.
Mhm.
She has over the years come to me with different things that she wanted to do, and she's passionate about everything she wanted to do. But she was never as passionate as she is about this. And each one of those things, I tested her, sent her off to do a task. Like, for instance, create a business plan. And I know that if she went through and created a business plan to the end and didn't change to something else, then yeah, this is it. And so for each one of those things, with the fitness studio on its own or the nutrition bar on its own, it would fizzle out. It'll fizzle out. But this idea, when she came to me with this, it was a spark that just grew and grew. And we're in the midst of quarantine, but it became a huge flame, and you can talk through that. So it's not it wasn't an overnight thing. It wasn't something that just happened in quarantine, but it's this particular business that grew and now we're here.
Right. I was just kind of sat on my bed for a little while, just kind of staring into space, because I was just thinking, I'm an Aquarius, so my mind is constantly rolling, and I always, it's kind of like a spinning, one of those spinning ball things where it stops on something. Like that's kind of what my mind's doing all the time.
Talking about roulette, I lost a lot of money playing that, but
Yeah. And so I was just kind of sat there, and then this light just kind of popped up in my head. And I came downstairs and I told my mom about it, and she was like, Chantelle, that's a really good idea. But then she kind of didn't like something that I said. What was it?
Yeah, a part of it didn't work.
Right.
So again, when something doesn't, or I think something doesn't work, I then suggested something else. Well, how about this? How about you think about this? And then she went away and she thought about it, and she came back and she said, okay, what do you think about this thing? I was like, okay, that sounds a little better, but how about this? And so it sort of developed into that. And then we sat and did a thorough business plan. And in doing the plan, it made a lot of sense to me. Her passion for fitness, her secondary passion for dance, and the fitness part she could take care of, the dance part she knew of people, and she just had this vision. And my background is finance and business, so I put my bit into it.
I'm sure.
Here we are.
Shocker.
Yeah, right. I kind of assumed that you were in some way, shape, or form in the finance sector. I don't ask me why. I just felt that.
Right.
If you would. So you come up with the business plan. You convince mommy to go along and back you, right? So how do you decide between the fitness and the dance? What are the elements of the studio, right? Is this side of the studio going to be dedicated to, lifting weights or some sort of, calisthenics area? And is this side going to be the dance area where, we're doing, what's that, Sally, what's that dance that all the women do? And I'm sorry, I know there's guys that do it too, but it's like a big group thing. Zumba. Like, you're going to have Zumba. Are you going to be like, what is the studio going to be comprised of in, when you go there, if and when you go to the studio?
Right. So it's majority dance. And we have fitness classes in the morning, in which early morning, 5:30, 6:30, we have a boot camp every day.
Wow.
And then after that, we kind of have the little fitness classes. So we have a build a booty class, which I'm going to be doing.
We love building the booty. I'm just, hey, okay, build a booty class.
B2B.
Yep.
B2B, there we go.
B2B.
Ooh, wait. I got to ask, and don't lose your train of thought. Who developed the routine for the build a booty class?
That would be me. I'm going to be developing those.
Does that also entail certain items in the diet that you have to eat while you're doing these? Like you have to join the two. You have to eat this sort of diet to sort of help the build of the booty.
Not really. I mean, that's not really included in it.
Okay.
I am a fitness nutrition specialist, so I will, I'll have some input in there and tell people, okay, well, I guess give advice to people, but that's not really included.
Chantelle, that's. I'm glad you said that. Tell the viewers how important nutrition is when it comes to fitness.
Oh, it's definitely I think it's more important than fitness, really. Without a healthy nutrition diet, you won't get the results that you would want. You can't just go work out and not eat properly and then expect to see results. It's definitely essential, nutrition.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think people hear the word diet and they think starve.
No.
When it should be, the word diet should translate to what you're consuming, basically.
Okay.
Right? So the proper diet is what will help you reach the goal, as you said, right?
She actually eats quite a lot. And I think because she's working out, I
hate you. No.
You have to eat more. You have to fuel your body.
All right.
I actually heard something the other day where the guy didn't call it a diet; he called it a live it.
live it.
That's true.
He called it a what?
Live it. Now diet.
Oh, right. All right. I got it now. A live it.
No, he did.
Diet.
And I was like,
No,
wow.
that's an amazing way to put it.
Yeah. A lot of times mentally, like we were talking earlier about, like self-esteem, that's self-esteem is you. Like you got to want to feel good for yourself and,
Right.
spread that, to yourself. Like, I'm good, like this is how I feel. I got to take care of my body. I got to get your mind right and all that stuff. So it all plays into effect. What is one thing you guys, you wish you knew before you went into this studio? Like this something that you didn't foresee coming, maybe like without the plans or anything, like besides the COVID quarantine, obviously. Is there anything that you guys feel like, oh, we missed that? Is there anything you guys didn't catch on?
I think at first we were just so excited to get things on the roll that we didn't really think about how much stress
Right.
starting a business is. It's a lot. And we just didn't really think about it. We were just so, okay, we got to do this, we got to do that, but we could do this.
But I'll tell you what, the thing is, things really just fell into place. And with anything you do, when you start with a plan, because your plan literally maps the way out for you. Yeah. So then once you set yourself up with a plan and the plan works on paper, then what you have to do is just follow the plan.
Execute.
And so that's what we did. So for the most part, it's been pretty easy for us because we followed the plan.
Right.
The frustrations and the stress with Chantelle is that she's not done anything like this before.
Right.
And I have several times over, personally and in my, no, I'm not.
I'm just
in my work life. So that's where we clashed, because she would sometimes want to do something and I'd be like, no, well, that's not the business way of doing it. And she's like, we go back to the plan. And it's just follow the plan. If it works on paper, then it's easier to put it into action. And then it just, for us, I think it's been pretty easy. Starting a business, as you say, in a pandemic, you have the anxiety of businesses are failing, small businesses are closing. Why do we think we could start a business now? Well, our studio is a feel-good place. Right now, people need that. Need to be able to move. People need to be able to get those endorphins going so that their thoughts can get going. And we want to provide that, a really happy environment, whether it's online, whether it's in a studio. After you've finished with one of our classes, you have to feel good about yourself, feel confident about yourself, feel good about your booty,
Yeah. Feel that booty, baby.
It's a feel good factor that we're trying to give people in this environment. So our pricing is way lower than it would have been normally, our pre-membership pricing, because we want people to be able, it's not just about sitting at home worrying. You get up and just go outside in the sunshine, get up and walk. Once you start moving, and so that's what we felt is needed now. And we could go ahead with this now, and we could be successful with it now, because we feel like we're providing a service rather more than a business.
Businesses are usually tough anyway, their first years. So you guys are facing double, how do you call it? Double, like a double trouble almost. But the way you put it is correct, as people need that outlet. They need to go relieve some stress, dance, hit a bag, whatever. Just it's healthy. It's a outlet for everyone right now.
Right. And we're ready. We're ready for whatever comes our way. We're gonna, because we feel like if we can make it through this, then we're definitely gonna make it.
Absolutely.
One thing I think that everybody should understand about us as people of color, as Black people specifically, we are resilient. no matter what the circumstances, and Chantelle, this is something that you should definitely hold on to. No matter what our circumstances have ever been, we always come out on top. We always are creative. We always put our best foot forward. We always push and make it through. So if Miss Beverly is stating that she has a plan, she didn't plan to fail, right? I know that I can feel the energy.
No.
But if you fail to plan, that's a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Another thing I want everybody to take note of is Miss Beverly stated that her prices are very affordable. Actually, they're lower than what they should be.
Way lower.
Now, if a woman from the Caribbean is telling you she's giving you the low, you're getting it for a good deal. Okay.
And I just want to, if I can interject, our choreographers are amazing.
Oh, I can imagine.
So lucky to have them on board, and we're excited. I know that they're going to bring the energy level that we want, and our classes are just going to be on fire.
I need to ask you both a question, and I would really, really like for you both to answer individually.
Okay.
In this climate that we're living in, and I've spoken to this with my partner quite a few times, people are like super sensitive, and you have to be careful about the things that you say, and I kind of feel that it's a detriment to society, right? And I'll explain and get to my question. In the business that you're in, you're bringing sort of a rejuvenation to people, a release, an outlet, something that will empower them. And not only that, will affect their health, right? Now, I'm all for being supportive and positive to people. So I would imagine that if I came in off the street and I was, as you can see or tell, I'm overweight now due to COVID. I haven't been getting my activity. You wouldn't discourage me. You would be like, hey, come in, we're going to get you moving, and great. But we live in a time now where people have become accepting of being in this position of being overweight, and they don't understand that being this, what they call body positive, is leading you down a path to lead a very unhealthy life sooner or later, right? Do you feel that this sort of train of thought is good for people? And if so, why? And I'd like to hear from you individually about that.
To go first. I'm all for body positivity. We can't all look the same.
Right.
We are all built differently.
Mm-hmm.
So that said, we also need to be responsible for our own health. You need to know genetics. I have a history of diabetes in my family, so I know there's a gene. The woman on one side of my family, the minute they hit 40, diabetes. So when I was in my late 30s, I started to be on top of that, checking for it all the time. So if you know you're prone to something, then yeah, the body positivity thing is great, but the message that this is fine, it's not fine if because every time if you go to a doctor, the answer to everything, if you're overweight, is, well, lose weight and it'll fix itself. I had knee issues. I had 3 surgeries in the last few years. Because of that, I wasn't able to do a lot of the things that I used to do before, and so I gained weight. With gaining weight, yeah, I'm still confident in myself and everything else, but the health issues came. And in losing the weight, they went away. So there is definitely a correlation between being overweight and being healthy, being healthy or not. So yes, body positivity is great, but to just accept it and say, well, this is who I am and I don't need to do anything about it. That's great for you. You know, if you are overweight and your cholesterol is fine and your blood pressure is fine and your diabetes is fine and everything's fine, then that's okay for you. But to give the message to everybody else that because it's okay for me, it's going to be okay for you, I think that's wrong.
Detrimental.
Yes.
And it's the wrong message of, yes, we are all different, but yet you're telling everybody to be the same. You know, this is fine for me, so you could be the same way, but we're all different. We just said that. So
it's the opposite of someone saying that being really thin is what you should be. You know, you could be unhealthy, very unhealthy, and thin. So by saying, hey, this is how your body should be, this is and that's all they've done really, is flipped it from thin being the thing to being overweight being the okay thing. You know, it's the same argument to have. Because it's okay for you doesn't mean it's okay for me. And I think everybody needs to be responsible for their own health and their own body and be confident in that, in whatever that, you know, situation is for them.
Sally, and I'm going to come back to you, Chantelle. I just want to make this quick point. If you listen to what Miss Beverly just said, and you think about when we were in high school and our sort of, how do they say, preference, right? There were guys that hung out with us that when we pointed out a female and we were like, wow, these guys would be like, ugh, that's too much. Like Miss Beverly was saying, that skinny and that whole heroin chic look used to be in. So women were like, they thought being a waif, 90 pounds was sexy.
Yeah.
When we, and I believe it's cultural, I really do, we as young men in our mid-teens and late teens, we always preferred, and I'm trying to use my words very carefully here. I'm sorry.
We have a class called Build a Booty now.
Yeah, exactly. We've always appreciated an anatomy of a woman that was curvaceous, voluptuous, that there was meat on the table. The plate had a big, this meat, right? Now we're at this point where we had a cultural shift over the last 25 years.
Yeah.
And now those same people that we went to school with, they used to be like, ugh, and like those 90-pound looking women. Now everybody has reverted to, they want the voluptuous and they want the booty.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time.
It's really weird. But again, I believe cultural, but whatever. I digress. Chantelle, as far as body positivity and health, how they should all sort of live together, what is your idea? Are you for being body positive but unhealthy? Do you see that as hurting people? And if so, how do you intend to address those issues when you have new clients?
Like you said, like my mother said, I am all for body positivity. Sorry, I can't speak right now.
That's all right.
Body positivity. I have been working out for the last 5 years, and it's not to get, when I started, it wasn't because I wanted the big booty. It wasn't because I didn't look at myself in the mirror and think, okay, I don't like the way I look.
Right.
It was more because, I don't really know how to explain it.
You had goals. You wanted to change.
Exactly. Right. I wanted to change. I wanted to do something for myself because I actually do have a different story. In school, I had, people say stuff to me in that, I was too flat for a black girl. I didn't have a booty for a black.
Well,
for a black girl.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Were these other females like your like friends, or were these guys like who was saying this to you?
It was females and guys. Males and females.
She was very, very small.
Yeah.
Very, very thin.
I was very thin. And before I ever
Beverly.
no, she's
hey, I tell it like it is.
Alrighty. So they were telling you this.
Yeah, before I received those comments, I didn't really think much of myself. You know, I never looked at myself and thought, "Oh, I'm skinny. I look horrible. I don't like how I look."
Mm-hmm.
It was so I got those comments that I was like, "Okay, maybe they're right. I don't have a lot to me. I am really skinny." And I was looking at all these other Black girls. Again, you know, I grew up in a predominantly white culture, so. You know, seeing the Black girls here, how, you know, they were curvy and that was the look, I guess, for, you know, people that look like me. I was like, okay, maybe I'm not, you know, maybe I should change to look like them. And so I did start going to the gym because of that. But it wasn't so much of like, you know, I hated the way I looked. It was just more like, okay, yeah, I need to look I need to get, I don't know how to explain it.
He wants to be at your potential.
Yeah.
Your body, where it is at that moment in time, you understood that if you started working out, that you would reach your potential.
Right.
And then in that time, everybody would start changing their tune and saying, "Damn, Chantelle, you looking right?" And that, you know,
building the booty.
Yeah. You built that booty out.
That's the transformation that we talked about, because you know, when I say that she was very thin, you know, I didn't even know that she was going through this this phase emotionally with friends at school. I never knew that. She, to me, looked like a model. She was tall, she carried, you know, she wore clothes really well, and she always dressed to go to school very glamorous and very model-like. So I didn't know she was facing all of this. Now, back in England, she probably wouldn't have been facing that, because and that's that transition where she was acceptable in that way and likened herself to those body shapes. And then she's come here now, oh, suddenly you're too skinny for a Black girl. That's not how you have, you know, you have no booty or whatever. The booty thing isn't even, it's not even one race now.
Well, there's natural and there's purchase.
Yeah, there's a lot of receipts.
Yeah, there's a lot of receipts behind that. So
hard work. There are
all hard work.
They're working really hard to do this. But yeah, I didn't know that she was going through that mental, I guess, dislike for her body, because I just saw a beautiful, you know, a beautiful body. But when she started to work out, then because the body was what she wanted, the confidence came in. And that's what this studio is really the foundation of it. It's building confidence, you know, through dance, through fitness, through movement. You know, when you dance, when you're in a dance class, even if you're doing the moves all wrong, you're looking at the choreographer and you think you're looking like her. You think you're doing it like her, and you leave that dance class feeling really confident, like you killed it. Yeah. So,
are you guys at like quarter capacity, or like how many people are allowed in the studio?
It's a really huge studio. It's 2,200 square feet, and we haven't partitioned it off, so we're leaving it wide open. On a normal, we could probably take, I would say, 60 or so people in there, but we're limiting our classes to 30 per class.
I'm curious.
And you do online also?
Yes, and online.
Yeah, so you guys are doing virtual, right?
Yes.
You guys have things set up.
That we have in studio is going to be streamed for our online members. Obviously, they have to have the access to get into the class, but all classes will be streamed online.
Sally, we're gonna do a Build a Booty class or what?
I'll do a virtual Build a Booty.
I'm looking like Michael Douglas right now in Fatal Attraction, man. It's not a good look for me. It's definitely not.
And if anyone can build a booty, is this girl, because with no intervention but the weights. So
Chantelle, who came up with the name CKMD, and what does it stand for actually?
So CKMD is my initials.
Ah,
My thing for a very long time. That's my hashtag that I use on Instagram, CKMD Fitness. So that's kind of, it's like my brand, really.
so can you give us each letter? Is Chantelle,
Kayla, Marie, Duesbury.
Wow, triple threat over there. She got 3 names. That's nice. So are we gonna be is it gonna be are they gonna have pan music? Are they gonna have dancehall? Like, what is sort of like the backdrop, if you would, that you're using in these classes?
Just regular. Yeah. So initially, our desire for these classes in this area is to have classes that's different to what the and other studios are doing. So a lot of them are doing hip hop, which we have a lot of hip hop. We have heels. Heels is that, sexy heels moving type of class, and we have some amazing instructors doing that. We also have a soca class, soca stroke Caribbean.
2-step.
Taking me back to my roots. She's pull my stuff out to teach that class.
Mm-hmm.
We want to do an African class, a Bollywood class, Latin dance. So really a cultural here in Houston, because we're so international, oil and gas, there's a lot of people from all around the world here. And we want to really make our studio really cultural. Something for everybody here.
That's what Sally and I were talking about that prior to the show, because you think Texas overall, and I know it's become very diverse. A lot of people have left like the city areas and have moved to Texas because of the opportunities. We were both wondering what the demographics were like, but now that you're pointing out, because oil and gas is big over there, that you have a very diverse sort of pool to pick from.
Here in Houston, there are other areas in Texas that you'd see more of the cowboys.
The natives.
Here in Houston is very cosmopolitan, very cosmopolitan. You have people from all continents here.
Wow. So there's a question from the room. Miss Pat Ruiz has asked, is their program specific to just women?
No, it's not. Men, women, and children from age 7 and above.
Oh.
And above. We have 50 plus soca classes in the morning at, is it 11:30 that I'll be taking? So,
wow.
All ages.
So I don't know if you heard what she said. She said there's a heels class.
Yes. A few heels classes. Yeah.
Explain that. What's the heels class?
Are they wearing heels?
Wearing heels. Yes. Yeah. So it's just kind of like a sexy kind of class.
Moving your body,
moving
really.
The
body movement.
Yeah.
A lot of booty work.
And not falling on the heels.
Burlesque-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm going to take a trip out there. I need a week pass. I need a virtual pass. I want to see what's going on.
And our heels instructors are awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. I think my wife would definitely love that.
Yeah.
It's funny because so being married for so long, right? I take notice to these things. And I've always noticed that even though my wife is 4'11", she's always been in heels.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, she walks in heels like they're sneakers.
Right.
You see,
she would be amazing in the heels class then.
Yeah. So like I take, being married so long, I take notice to these things. When I'm out in the world and I see other women walking in heels, I'm like, what's wrong with you? You look like, like a newborn horse. Like,
good.
like who taught you that? But I think that what I'm alluding to is that class is very positive and it's good. And I think it's something that, women should take. to strengthen their posture.
Yeah, confidence too. Huge confidence builder.
You know, walking out in public when you go out to an event and you have heels on, if you're walking around like you're on ice, it doesn't look sexy, right? It doesn't go with the outfit. It has to be a whole energy and presence, and
you instantly sort of upright when
Mhm.
you're wearing heels, and you know you have the curve in your back, and you know.
Man.
Nice.
Booty, curve in the back,
Get
heels
out of
popping, sweating over here.
Another class that we have that isn't very popular is shuffling.
What's
What with the feet, like sliding, gliding.
Oh,
We have
the
an amazing
newer, younger dancing thing, shuffling, like doing that little running man thing. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
running
that's
man.
it.
It's popular.
Walk. It's a popular form of dance, but not a lot of dance studios do it.
Right.
Yeah, I've never heard of a dance studio before.
But that's part of being different. That's good. That's something
That's right.
nobody's offering.
Yeah, you guys
wanted to offer classes that were not available anywhere close by. I mean, these you can go online and you can see these classes, but they're far away. They're in California, or they're somewhere else. But there's nothing like it here, and we wanted to bring those classes to Houston. Well, to Katy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you guys are teaching heel class, booty instruction, fitness. Oh man, this is so well rounded. And I think again, the way that you guys have presented it, with the understanding that people need this, you know, this is something not only just for your benefit, like your business venture, but this is something positive to give to people, right? And bringing people fitness in a way that will make it fun,
Right?
Sort of disguises the fact that they're moving.
Yes.
And it'll distract them for the fact that, you know, I've been spending my months sitting on the couch. Now my body's moving, and I know I'm going to be in pain tomorrow, but I'm having a lot of fun. Right?
Exactly.
It's soulful, you know, Caribbean music and Bollywood music and all these things that sort of touch you in here, right?
And it's different, you know. People do like to experience other cultures, and we're bringing that here. The other thing is the early morning boot camp, the fitness classes. You know, it's a great way to start your day. You start your day at 5:30. You can get up and go to the gym and try and just lift some weights, or you can come with an instructor and focus on certain muscle parts. And our instructor, Shaheen, he's amazing. And that's a great way to start your day. You start your day with that, and then you just you'll feel great for the rest of the day.
Those gym classes, like, you know, when you go to the gym and you lift weights, okay. When you go to classes, that's a whole different sweat right there. You're like looking like, is he watching? I'm not doing it right now. Is he watching me? Because it's like, it's no joke. You definitely try to, you know, a couple of times I'm like, I'm walking out of here, but then you don't want the walk of shame. You're like, no way.
And then you stay and you finish it.
Yeah. But they're tough, but that's, you know, that's how you build your endurance, and you build it up and, you know, get stronger.
Yeah.
What have you read or watched anything recently besides the set 6145, of course, that motivated you, like, you know, gave you some inspiration?
Well, you've been watching we've been watching Grey's Anatomy. Anatomy, as we say. The thing I love about Grey's Anatomy is that it's real. You know, it's real. And you see people coming into hospital with health issues that, had they done things, they could have prevented, but now they're faced with it at the hospital and they're dealing with this. So I think that's an inspiration for us. You know, we want to help people avoid ending up in Grey's Anatomy.
I worked in the hospital 14 years. It was nothing like Grey's Anatomy. Not in New York.
Yeah. Have a lot of issues that arise.
Yeah. We've been looking at a lot of dance videos, and that's been getting us really excited, and we can't wait to have these people moving in our studio, and we can do our own videos and put them out there. So we're really excited about that too.
I'm curious to know, When are you guys launching soon? Are you opened or like what's the situation at this point?
So the construction is in the final phases. They're just, putting the final bits on it. And our currently we're looking at January 11th, the classes to start. That's our current
Launch date.
and as a date.
Are masks mandatory in Texas?
Yes. In buildings, yes, they are.
But Chantelle and Miss Beverly, who's overseeing the punch list during this construction?
The punch list.
Little items that have to get done before you sign off and say, okay, you guys are done, the contractors, you can go now. Or is that something that, are you guys doing this internally?
Yes, and we're doing it together, really. We have a list that we put together, and we're ticking it off as we go along. This week, last few weeks, I think 4 or 5 weeks, we had a bit of a halt on waiting on permits. Permitting has been the delays for us so far. Yeah, last week we got over that hurdle, and so now this week they've gone right back into full speed ahead. And we had a meeting last week, and we said to them, look, January has been our date. We told you January, we need it to be January, first week in January, you need to be out of here. So that's what we're working with so far. But we're all there.
Listen, first of all, I want to say, man, I really respect the commitment, first of all. Second of all, I commend you both for being able to have some sort of trust within each other and trusting each other to accomplish this goal and really put your best work forward. I'm sure that, whatever your situation is now for both of you as far as work is concerned because of COVID, but also having the bandwidth to commit to this project, this isn't an easy feat. Doing build outs and things of that nature take up a lot of time. And not only that, you have a lot of personalities to deal with. But of course, in this sort of package of COVID and the situation, it creates, makes it that much harder, right?
Yes, and I think if anything has been a struggle, that's been it. It's juggling because I do still work full time. She works well, and it's juggling those whilst managing this project and getting everything to complete on time. So that, if anything, has been the hardest struggle.
Chantelle, I have to ask you, how do you see your mother? How much do you respect her as a woman who's so committed to your vision and actually being your business partner and standing beside you and being able to bring this to fruition with the woman who gave you life? How do you see her? Like, can you sort of give the audience an understanding of your relationship with your mom?
My mother is my absolute role model. I tell her every day how much she inspires me. She's raised me on her own my entire life, basically. And she's definitely the most important person in my life. She's so strong-willed. She's the strongest person I know. And that just makes me want to be like her. And for her to be, I'm so honored to have her as my mother because she is just amazing. She's absolutely amazing. And I just aspire to be like her in business and family.
Ms. Beverly, it must be rewarding. It must give you a strong sense of pride to see that, I'm sure all your daughters are very accomplished and very goal-oriented. But sitting here and having this exchange with you, it must fill you with such joy to hear and see not only the work and the commitment, but the admiration and the respect, most of all, that your daughter has for you. Are you?
Yeah.
Do you feel and understand these things as you're going on in life and seeing her grow as a woman and step into her own?
I'm very proud. It's humbling to hear her speak like that and say those words. Because, you know, as a single parent, it's never easy. It's just never easy. So I've gone through it, and now they're grown, and to hear them speak about me in that way, it just makes everything that I had to do and I had to go through, it just makes it all worth it. And I'm so proud of my girls. You know, I've put my all into them, and now I sit back and I just watch the rewards with pride. That's all I have is pride for my children.
Chantelle, now you said your mother was a role model, right? Your role model for you. Can you give me 2 more? I want 3 total role models. And Miss Beverly, I want you to give me 3 role models for yourself also.
Don't think too hard, ladies.
You go first this time.
Goodness.
You just got to give 2 more. And if it's 1, that's fine. If it's 1, we're good. I mean, you know, if it's just your mom, then we're fine. We're good.
Goodness. There's a lot of people. I guess my grandmother, role model to me as well. My grandmother, we are both Aquariuses.
Okay.
And she has also been a businesswoman. She opened up her own business when she was young, right? Mm-hmm. And she has stayed in that business all throughout. I think my role models are just, that's on her side. Okay. So,
on her side.
One of Beverly's role models
now. And then Mother Teresa. She always used to call me Mother Teresa because I am. Why would you call me that?
Chantelle sees the best in everybody. Yeah. You know, and we've always called her Mother Teresa because she does see the best. Nickname. She wouldn't tolerate anybody saying anything ill about anybody.
Negative.
She wants to help everyone. You know, if it were allowed, she would bring home every homeless person that she right. She would bring home every street that she found. Her heart is just pure and good. And you know, we joke about it and call her Mother Teresa, but she truly is a good soul, a good person.
She's learned from the best. So Miss Beverly, who are your role models or your inspirations?
My inspirations, I mean, that's easy for me. My mother, first and foremost, because my mom was born in the 50s in Trinidad, where and she didn't have a formal education. She was kept home to work on, you know, the land. You know, she took care of the animals and that kind of thing, and she wasn't sent to school. Despite not having an education, she did what she could do to provide for us. She, and I guess that's where I got that from. She put us first and foremost. She worked really, really hard. Without an education, she never had a job. So she was an entrepreneur her whole life. You know, she used her skills to make a living. So she was a great cook. So she made doubles and pilori, and she sold. She sold these things, and that's literally how I was able to go to school and to get the things that I needed. Is from my mother waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and basically hitting that heat, cooking, and then getting in her car, driving to a school, and sitting there all day selling her produce. and then she moved on to have a store where she sold things. But she never complained. She always showed us love. She brought us up in a home that was always full of love. We didn't have very much materially, but what we had was love. And she never she did her best to give us what she could. I never felt that I was without. There were people who had a lot more than I did materially, but I never felt that I was lacking in any way in my life. So my mom is definitely 100% my main role model, and I think I modeled myself as a parent based on how I was raised by her. The second for me is my children. They give me the drive. They've kept me going. You know, my oldest, when I was, I guess, in late pregnancy with her, I went through the depression that you get with pregnancy. And one day I sat in my room and I was very, very low, very, very depressed. And she was 4 years old, 5 years old. She just skipped in the room, literally skipped in, jumped on the bed, came, gave me a big hug and said, "I love you, Mom," and skipped right back out. And that was what I needed at that time. So my girls are, I'd say they're role models. You know, my youngest, she comes up with things like she teaches me stuff. You know, she teaches us all stuff. She comes out with some things, and I'm like, how do you know this? You know, she has changed me. Because of her, I'm now vegan. I feel like she's made me a better person. She's definitely made me a more patient and tolerant person. Her mantra is,
I need to hang out with her.
listen,
Tolerant.
she's awesome. She's a good person to hang out with. Her mantra is, let everybody live their life how they want it to live. So she's an activist for everything: animal rights, you know, LGBTQ. She is all about letting people live their life, you know. So she teaches me a lot. I learned so much from her. My girls, my 3 girls, they are my best friends. I say that. And I always hear when people say, "Oh, I can't be best friends with my children." Yes, you can. I am. They all 3 of them say I'm their best friend, but the respect hasn't gone anywhere. I'm their parent. They know that, and they respect me as that. They don't fear me, but they respect me. You know, and I think that's the difference. When parents try to make their children be scared of them, well, guess what? They're not going to come and talk to you about the things that matter. They're going to go and talk to a friend. I'd rather be the best friend that they come to. So that's how I've lived my life with them. A third person, I have personally had mentors in my life. One of them is, she's a very, very good friend of mine now, that I met in a junior achievement. I don't know if you know of junior achievement, but there's a program where, you know, they come into the schools, and I met her in junior achievement, and she has been my role model, growing up. And now that I'm grown, you know, we are great friends. And I have very good friends who, you know, keep me grounded. I don't have a large circle of friends. And as I get older, that circle is just getting smaller. You know, so yeah, it's family for me. Family for me is
everything.
Yeah, it's everything.
I tell my kids that all the time. Like, listen, I don't speak to a lot of those kids I spoke to when I was younger. So don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. And, you know, if we move or whatever, you know, if they're your friends, you'll stay in touch. If not, you're not going to stay in touch. That's all.
Right.
So
Exactly.
people stay in your life who want to. Like that's how I look
That's
at it.
right. That's right.
For the season.
I have two very, very, very close friends that I've known from being back at school. And, one of them, we never lost touch all the way through to now. And the other one, she was in the military. So there was a period where she was absent, but it's like she's just come back. And like those years just, hasn't.
Pick right up where you left off.
Well, exactly.
It's almost like you never left.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
I found something that you said very interesting, and I want to touch on it before we move on. I've always said we were a lot happier when we didn't have all this, right? When we were younger and we didn't have all these material things, I found myself to be a lot happier.
Mm-hmm.
Like growing up in Brooklyn with my brother here, we always wanted, these sneakers or this fancy coat or whatever. Like we always wanted those things. But we were poor, right? So we didn't always get the things that we kind of desired. But at the end of the day, when I sit down and think about those times, myself and my family, and even my good friends, were a lot happier as compared to now. We have so many material things, but that really doesn't do it. Having a home filled with love, that real connection and bond that you share with your mother, your wife, or your family, that sort of has gone to the wayside in this day and age, and it's sad. And I'm bringing that up because listening to you talk about the time of you growing up with your mom and how she, no matter what, found a way to give you and your siblings the best, and still feeling like you didn't have without, it brought me back to that. And it's a shame that people have lost that connection. But hopefully, through this platform, we're going to start bringing that back and bringing people back to reality. We don't need, material things are wonderful, but being connected to each other, truly being connected, is a whole different experience, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I have a guy I follow, Dr. Richard Elko, and he's talking about that. Like right now, like social distancing, like it's such a bad word. We're physically distancing from each other, but let's not socially distance, and keep in touch with those you really care about. Reach out to them, calls, texts, however, how you doing? Stay in touch. Let's not socially distance. We're just physically distancing, and I think that really made a lot of makes a lot of
Rings
sense.
true. It definitely rings true.
But what you're saying is, because we have not been able to be physically in touch with each other, we've had to find ways. And so now I think people are talking to each other more now.
Mm-hmm.
They can't just go visit. And so you have to pick up the phone and call. And when you do call like this, that we're having here now, you sit and you're in that moment with your loved ones, as opposed to, oh, I've got to go do this, and you're always busy. Well, everything slowed right down, and now we have to find more time to reach out to loved ones and talk to loved ones.
God always has a plan.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Slow this down.
Can I ask you both a question? Do you see this comment when I post, people who are making comments? Can you see it?
No.
Like if I go like this, do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So is that Kyra or Kira?
That's Kyra. That's my youngest.
That's your youngest.
Yes.
Look at that. She made sure to get this message across. Salute to you, Kyra.
She's awesome. Love you.
So we're looking at January 11th, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the day? Okay. So this is what I want to say. And Sally, you can chime in if you want to. We're looking at January 11th to launch. Everything goes well, God willing, you guys will launch.
Yes.
Will there be virtual classes available day one? How is the rollout going to be? when you finally launch?
So we have a launch day, and then we're going to do the next week, following week, right? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, so we have classes start. We have classes scheduled to start on January 11th. So whenever there's a class in the studio, that class will be streamed online. So day one on the 11th, yes, day one on the 11th, there's a class. All the classes are going to be streamed and available online. So anything that's happening in the studio, once you have that online membership, you are a part of it. And with the online membership, you have access to all the classes.
Okay, so you're gonna share the website with us, right? Because we wanna make sure we promote
the
because
website and maybe like address and stuff, maybe. But,
Yeah. Yes.
We need everything because we want to promote. We want to make sure that if people are in Houston, they can, if they want to physically go, great. But if people are in New York or Florida or California or wherever it is that we're being watched, they can go on and say, hey, you know what? I need to get a bigger booty. And they can go take a booty build class.
Yes. Yes. You don't have to be physically here in Houston to participate. Whatever is going on in the studio, once you have online access, you are a part of that.
Nice.
And so the website is, it's very easy actually, is CKMD danceandfitness.com.
It got easy until she said dance and fitness. I'm like,
Dance and fitness.
No, I get it.
I need my Adderall.
Yeah, right. All right. So people, if you're just joining, this is Mr. A with my compadre Sally Sasson, and this is the set. Today we are joined by Miss Beverly and Chantelle from CKMD's Dance Studios. Oh, Fitness and Dance Studio in Houston, Texas. They just told us an amazing story of where they started, what their inspirations were, what their launch dates are. And if you can hear, both my dogs are going crazy in the background. So if you hear that, please excuse me.
Mine's about to start.
I think that, as I said when we were opening, you know, I really respect and commend you both for being brave and stepping out on a limb in this moment. I mean, this is really, you know, business is a gamble, period. But for you two women to gamble on yourselves in such a fragile moment, and you know, people see it fragile, whatever, but I don't want to scare you now that I'm talking this way. But to step out and do it now is, I love it and I appreciate it, and I hope that it sort of sets a trend for all our people, that you shouldn't let circumstances around you dictate what you do in your life. And it's an amazing accomplishment, and I hope that you guys really start to soak in the moment of what's happening. Right, you're birthing your passion. This is your baby, right? And you're gonna raise this baby to be a big booty dancing heel, whatever it may be, for the community, and bring inspiration to people to get them moving and get some endorphins going and get themselves mentally and physically fit. Because, you know, so when you're in the gym and you're really, you know, going in and time is passing on, you start to get that focus. You feel mentally and physically strong, right?
Sure.
When I go out and, you know,
definitely, you know, mind over matter, right?
for sure. And I, again, I don't know how much more I could praise you guys for what you're doing. And I think that above everything else, that was the message of today's show and what I wanted to get across to the audience. Just let them know that they don't have to allow everything around them to dictate what it is that they want to do in any aspect of their life. And you guys are, wow, amazing. You guys are setting an amazing example. And I need access, so I'm going to be going to CKMD Fitness and Dance?
Dance and Fitness.
He wants the heels class. He wants to do the heels class.
Listen, I got the calves for it, but my feet are too big for heels. They don't make heels this big.
Best of luck, guys. You know, betting on yourself. I always say, like, I don't like when I play my sports, guys are like, oh, I bet this, I bet that. when I gamble, I tell them I gamble on me. Yeah, I'll gamble on myself. So that's how you guys are doing it. You're gambling on yourselves, and of course you're gonna win because that's what you guys do. So we wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. It was nice talking with you.
Right.
Nice.
But before we go, just understand, we always make sure to tell our guests before we end our show. Now that you've come to the set, you're part of the family. And going forward, at any point in time that you need to promote something, there's a change, there's something amazing going on, you've reached a milestone, whatever it may be, you have an open invitation to the show. You can reach out and say, hey, we have this going on. Even if we feature you for a 5-minute talk, or we feature you for an hour and a half long segment, whatever it is, you have an open invitation to come back on here, because this is your platform. This isn't about me and my partner here. We're just a conduit. We're a vehicle for the people. So going forward, if something comes up, we want to hear about it. We want the exclusive. This is your second home, and we wish you nothing but immense success.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Miss Chantelle?
Yes.
You can see the good in people, and that's a beautiful characteristic to have.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I'm going to be a father here for a second. When it comes to choosing a mate, you don't choose a project. You choose something that's built or can be built upon.
Right.
Anybody that needs repair, you don't need that in your life. That's going to hold you back. And that's just a dad in me speaking. So, sorry.
That's great advice.
Thank you for that.
That's great advice. Thank you.
We appreciate you both. Thank you for coming on. And if you can, please just sit in the queue so we can have a conversation afterwards, okay?
Yes, will do. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
So much.
Of course. Wow. So I can't say it enough. The situation right now, business-wise and everything that's going on, what they're doing is, it takes a lot of balls.
Yeah.
And maybe I shouldn't say that because they're women, but it just, it's representative. It's indicative.
No, definitely.
But
they have, they have a plan. So,
I think that's what really, like, I'm more confident in that their business model and what they're going to do, they've planned for it.
Yeah.
So Chantelle is very talented and she has a vision, and Miss Beverly understands the economics and what's at stake, and she's really putting things in line for their success.
Definitely.
And it's amazing. Everybody watching in the room, if you showed up late, Ephraim, sorry you missed it. You have to watch the replay. You missed an amazing show, the live actually, with Miss Beverly and Miss Chantelle. You can go back and watch.
If it's their first time watching us, hope you like what you heard, and please subscribe to the channel, The Set 6145 on YouTube and Facebook, and
and share,
support, and share and like and all that good stuff.
Yes, we're going to be having women's empowerment coming up. We have another amazing woman coming on Sunday, Miss Lourdes of the Borinquenias Motorcycle Club. It's going to be a good one. Next month we just have amazing guests coming up, man. You got to watch, you got to share, come back, check us out. We're going to be doing a lot here, and it's going to be something for everybody. So get it together. You're going to miss out.
Merry Christmas,
everybody.
Merry Christmas.
All right, people. We are out of here. Stay safe. Enjoy your holiday. And we'll see you on Sunday.